police force harassing Americans. That in one ICE raid in a neighborhood, a 67-year-old American U.S. citizen was pulled out of his car, was slammed to the ground, and the ICE agents, you can see a picture right here of the man. He's on the ground. The ICE agents have their knee in his back. They broke this man's ribs. They broke 6 of his ribs, sent him to the hospital. He has internal bleeding, and he is an American citizen. He was not an immigrant, but he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Wrong place at the wrong time. They can pull you out of your car. They can break your car windows. They are lawlessness. We have SS Nazi troopers now being empowered by the Trump administration, his own private SS Nazi brown shirts to go in and terrorize U.S. American citizens. This guy is not an immigrant. He's not an illegal alien. He was born in America. And now he is injured in the hospital. And folks, this is happening all over America, where ICE agents rush up to a car and break the window out and pull people out of their car, and they end up being Americans. Is this the America that you want to live in? Folks, this is like North Korea. This is like Soviet Union. This is like communist China. And it's going to get a lot worse.
This is incredible. This story is absolutely out of this world. Watch this one.
A Northern California woman who recently filed a civil lawsuit accusing an ICE contractor of sexual harassment has now been deported.
And now her attorneys are questioning the timing. KCRA3's Andrea Flores is here with what...
This is a criminal cartel. ICE is a criminal cartel. This is a criminal cartel. So she accuses them of a crime and they deport her immediately?
We've learned.
Tonight, her lawyers are telling us her civil case will move forward and they're hoping to bring her back to the United States. Sylvia Reina Mendoza is a mother of 8 who has lived in the U.S. for nearly 40 years.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Spoke with 2 of her children last week after she filed a civil lawsuit in Sacramento County. Reina Mendoza was in the country illegally. Her status required her to be monitored by BI Incorporated, which contracts with ICE. Now, according to the lawsuit, her specialist, Luis Ruiz, sent her sexually explicit text messages and videos. Now, the lawsuit says when she reported that behavior to a supervisor, no action was taken. Our story aired on Thursday night, and her lawyer says she was deported by Friday morning.
It's obviously very, very suspicious because all along the defense.
It leads you to wonder how many women in this country are put in a position like this, where they're basically being forced to engage in sexual stuff in order to stay in the country.
That we are suing have been working very hard to cover up the sexual harassment. We're still investigating this. We want all the facts to come out, and we want the individuals who have harmed her to be brought to justice.
Her immigration attorneys believe she was illegally deported, claiming she had an emergency stay on her case. We did reach out to federal immigration officials, and we have not yet heard back.
Wow, what a shock.
All right, Shalom. First of all, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Went to this life foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in Hebrew, which means peace. As we said before, as we're going to continue saying it, we are in Jacob's trouble. And it's clear as the day, it's clear as daylight that this man is playing a horrific game. They are coming out like a dragon on the people. They're coming out destroying everything in their sight. I was watching the rest of this video, and he was basically saying that a judge told them, they got to slow down, whatever. This video, by my ad, this title is this Trump mass fires top ICE official. So when you hear what he said, he was basically saying, what is this guy's name? I don't remember. He was basically saying that right here. He was basically saying that not because of all the stuff that they're doing, like it's shown in the previous video, they just randomly just busting people's window and dragging people out and not even ask for no ID or nothing. They're just going full throttle. And it's that's what the scripture says. There should be a time of trouble like never since been a nation. They always refer them to what Nazis and some other group, but they taking it. These people are taking it to a whole nother level when it comes down for the wrath, and a lot of people are getting pissed off because they're not even identifying themselves. So who was saying that? I think it was Apostle Hall. Somebody said it. Oh, it was I'm a good boy. He said you won't be surprised. It was just a couple good old boys decide to just go, let's go, it's Halloween season, let's go and dress ourselves like ice and just randomly take people and do whatever we want to them. Because that's how I guess you could say that's a gray area how things are right now, because nobody knows. All right. Nobody knows, when it comes to official law enforcement, they have to identify themselves. They got to let you know, because things of that nature. Hey, oh damn! It just kind of crossed my mind. When you watch those old movies of the old West, they had to identify themselves. They had to have a piece of paper, like, look, I'm such and such, and that was official. That comes from the judge himself. All right, it's like, okay, this is a lawman. So these people is like, fuck this. We're beyond the law. They put themselves like they beyond the law. And I'm kind of shocking. Well, I'm not. It's shocking, but it's not shocking because we know right now this is the judgment that the Lord is putting upon the people. The shocking thing is, I'm surprised nobody responded. That's why it's kind of weird. But we're in that time of judgment because people just, and in this woman, how many other women are being violated right now? Okay, straight up and down. So they coming down with wrath, man. We're truly in Jacob's trouble. We are here, okay? We are here. Matter of fact, let me start with that one. Daniel 12:1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation. Which is ironic I'm just gonna take those clips, but he's also saying that people that got. There was one guy who got. They rounded him up. He was a true full-blown Trump supporter. They rounded his ass up, and they taught his ass is somewhere in Africa in a maximum prison. So he's in a maximum prison, and it's all the same people that they're coming after. Negroes, Latinos. That's all they're coming after. The Negroes and the Latinos. It's a universal law right now what they're doing. And that's why it says a nation. And it's saying that the nations. It says a nation. The nation is the nation of Israel. So the nation of Israel is such in trouble like it never been before. Right now. All right. And it's only going to get worse before it gets worse. And it says, even to the same time, at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that is written, that shall be found written in the book. So during this process, because it's just going to get worse before it gets worse, and it's going to get worse and worse. It's going to keep getting worse. But the people of the Lord, the elect, is going to be protected. All right. Zechariah 14, I believe it's 1. Behold, the day come Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses ravaged, the house rifled, and the women ravished. So when we've been saying the things that we've been saying, and we could clearly see it, women are voluntarily right now, some of selling the box, selling the kitten, but it's going to get to a point, it doesn't matter if you sell it or not, people are just going to take it. We've been saying these things was going to happen. We, through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, starting from the apostles on down, all right, and their elders before them, and so forth, men been saying that this is going to happen. And we could clearly see, how things has changed dramatically. So here it is, this woman, that woman, any woman that think that they're protected from the set perils or the set problems. If you don't have the hedge of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you're going to be judged harshly. And it says, as soon as that woman complained, what happened? They kicked the ass out. Because these people right now, they're sitting above the law. This ICE agency, all of them, they all above the law. It says, and half of the city shall go into captivity. So a lot of people is going straight up into captivity. I was watching Richie for Boston, the elder bro, Uncle Boss sent the video, and he was telling what's his name? Pete Hegseth was asked a question about April 2026. And he said, we have a lot of plans going on, and we're not going to tell you what's going on, blah, blah, blah. So basically the question was about a military exercise or something like that. Basically, they're going to practice martial law around that time frame because they're expecting something catastrophic to take place. And with this whole thing that's going on with the SNAP benefit no longer being here, it's not that far-fetched to see that this winter is the very dark winter that they were speaking of. And out of that dark winter, here comes full-blown, unadulterated martial law, kicking down your door, waving the 4-4, taking you out of your household because either people's going to been protesting or something to that extent. And we got to remember, so next year is going to be 250 years of the corporation experiment that is America, which they're really going to celebrate around May time frame because that's the Illuminati. But let's say you get to that point. Oh, he's going to make sure he has no oppositions. Nobody's going to say nothing. So a lot of people is going to be thrown into concentration camps. You could see it clearly. All the people that's speaking against him, he's slowly getting rid of them. You could clearly see that something's going down. All right. So when it says, and half of the city shall go into captivity, which this took place, but it's happening again. And the residue of the people shall be cut off from the city. History repeats itself. That's why the Lord said, let me get this real quick. Luke 20. I'm sorry. Not Luke 20. Or was it 20? Hold on. Luke 21 and 20. It says, and when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is near. And what was the Lord warning Israel? He was warning Israel of the set prophecy that was going to take place. That the same people that had something against, which was whom? the Romans. The Romans was occupying the land of Israel with very draconian laws. So the same people that was occupying, they're going to come and surround you and to destroy you. All right, which was the falling away first. It says, then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. Which, get that real quick. 2nd Ezra 16 and 40. It says, O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. So the Lord gave them warning to prepare themselves to what? To flee. So the same thing is going to happen here. History repeats itself, right? So the Lord is telling us, be prepared to make a move soon. We don't know when, how, but they're coming. All right. Some brothers are going to be thrown into concentration camps. We already know that. Some brothers are going to get their head chopped off. Some people is going to. There's so much different response that's going to take place. So much things is happening. These people are coming as a dragon. All right. It says, let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. So what did our forefathers did? They fled to Africa. All right. Away from the Romans. Those that took heed, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter into. Don't come back. Get out and don't come back. All right. It says, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. So how much more, if that was the case, so how much more now? Ain't this the perfect time for vengeance? Why? Because our people, let me see, Matthew's 27. Matthew 27 and I just want when they said what they said, 19. When he was set down, Pontius Pilate, he gave them the option, who are you going to release? Barabbas or the Lord. He knew they were jealous. I was just skipping it. Okay. It says, when he was sat down on this judgment seat, he his wife said, no, I want to read that part. Verse 20. It says, but the chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Yahushua. Then the governor answered and said unto them, whether of the twine will ye that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas. And Pilate saith unto them, what shall I do with Yahushua, which is called the Anointed, or Mashiach? They all said unto him, let him be crucified. And the governor said, why? What evil have he done? But they all cried out more, saying, let him be crucified. And it says, when Pilate saw that he could not prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water, washed his hands, and before the multitude said, I am innocent of this man's blood. So I'm innocent of the blood of this just man. See you to it. And it says, then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and our children. So the time of 70 AD, that wasn't the fulfillment. So they put a curse on themselves. The Israelites put a curse. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, that was there. They put a curse on themselves. So that vengeance wasn't fulfilled. All right. But I know which vengeance is coming real soon. Jeremiah 18 and 20. It says, "Shall evil be recompensed for good? For what have For they have digged a pit for my soul. Remember that I stood before thee to speak a good for them, and to turn away thy wrath from them. Therefore deliver their children to the famine, pour out their blood by the force of the sword, and let their wives be bereaved of their children, and be widows, and let their men be put to death. Let their young men be slain by the sword in battle. Let the cry be heard from their houses, and when thou shalt bring a troop suddenly upon them, for they have digged a pit to take me, and hid snares from my feet." And this happened when the Babylonians came, and it's going to happen again. All these are days of vengeance. All right. So Jacob's trouble is really the nation of Israel, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is the payment time. This is why this man's coming down hard. He's being possessed. That's what the scripture says. What they come as a dragon. Matter of fact, let me get that. Revelation 12 and 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." These people are drunk of power. They are drunk. And I believe the guy was basically saying that a lot of them wasn't even passing a physical test. So these are just good old boys that find the opportunity to bust a Negro and Latino's head in. Because this is the day of vengeance. This is their last hoorah. All right? This is the last of it. Now, the last of this hoorah that they have is just that. It's the last of it. So they going all out. They know they could feel it. Everybody could feel it in the air. There's a transition problem, transitional thing going on. That transition is what? Somebody's losing their power. All right? They could feel it. This is why they want to go all woke, all this, all that. They feel like they're losing it. And they are losing it. They're not exaggerating. They're losing their power. So instead of taking out gracefully, they got to go all out. How many people out here complaining about people that's on welfare, but they don't see that all these corporations are casting people out? Like a wise person that asks I guess it was a comment. The real issue is why 42 million Americans are on welfare. That's the real issue. Why is food so goddamn high? And a lot of majority of people that's on welfare is what? People that have jobs, because they're not getting paid enough. So instead of taking that anger towards these facts, they just unleashing on Israel. This is why we need divine intervention. All right. Isaiah 59 and 19. It says, "So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, which is here, the western hemisphere." And why they fear the name of the Lord? Why they're going to fear the name of the Lord? Because of the prophets of the Lord, calling on the name of the Lord, telling them Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is doing this and doing that. All right. We made history through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It says, "In the glory from the rising of the sun, the east, when the enemy shall come in like a flood." What is stormtroopers? They got the little private. He has his little private army, which is ICE. Then they're gonna pass it to the National Guard. From the National Guard, is gonna go to the actual military. They're coming. All right, they're coming for everybody. They're coming to destroy. They don't give a damn about men, women, and children. They coming to destroy. All right. The spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. That spirit is what? Spiritual power. One way or another, they're going to be met by the same energy that they carry. And all they're doing is rousing themselves up. All right. They just rousing themselves up. And they're going to be met by that. That same energy that they display is going to be met accordingly. All right. And the spirit might not have nobody get, not nobody, but they're not going to stand a chance. They're not going to stand a chance with when the Lord put that spirit, and they don't say fuck around and find out, right? Listen, the Lord's forcing the tribes to come back together. That is your nightmare coming true. Micah 5:7-8. It says, the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people, which they are. More than ever, everybody is in the shores of America. Everyone, all the tribes. It says, the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people, as a dew from the Lord, as a showers upon the grass, that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of men. The remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of the sheep, who, if he goes through, both trodden down and tear in pieces, and none can deliver. So this is exactly what's happening. And this is the Lord's masterful plan. You coming in as a flood, you coming in and doing the most vilest things to everybody, and don't expect no consequences or repercussion. And all you doing is aiding. All you're doing is aiding the Lord's people to direct them. Like we always say to the Spirit, many of our people are going to die. All right, 2/3 are slated for death. We have to accept that fact. We've been accepted that. But eventually, you're going to be met by resistance. All right? And that's the bottom line. And the two groups of people that you had divided for all these years, you're forcing their hands to come together, to be as one. It says, and thy hand shall be lifted up upon thy adversaries, and all thy enemies shall be cut off. So all our adversaries are going to be cut off. So the Lord he's stirring up the pot. This man is not no mercy. You get the last one, because that's I saw the night Isaiah 19. Start at 2. Matter of fact, I start at 1. It says, the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and all eyes are in heaven. All right. Every time the eyes are in heaven, all hell's breaking loose on earth. Because like that movie, Don't Look Up, people looking up to get the hell out of here. One way or another, we don't know if there's a three-eye atlas or whatever. Yahweh Shai is on his way. Okay, he's coming in a fathership with innumerable amounts of angels. As the prophecy states, it says, and shall come into Egypt, which modern day Egypt is America. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And what's going to cause it to melt? ICBM nuclear missiles. And I was set, and before all this happens, This is what the Lord said. I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. So Americans, no matter what political group they're a part of, no matter right wing, left wing, everybody's going to be against each other, which is what? A civil war, class war. Because the very rich, they don't have to worry about, the SNAP. The congressmen and women, they still getting paid. While the federal agents, federal workers, they're not getting a paycheck. They haven't gotten a paycheck in 20 something odd days, going on 30 days. It says, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And that's the prophecy. It says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. The democracy, the whole America, all this nonsense that they've been spewing, it's failing. Look what they're doing this. They're doing it in a time of Thanksgiving, which actually Thanksgiving was not a national holiday. I believe it said Abraham Lincoln. So they didn't make it a holiday, and it kept skipping certain presidents until they become. And this whole process is killing off the economy. All right, nobody's able to spend now, so money's not going to go back into the economy. So this whole experiment of America is failing. It says, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, because all this the moves that they're making is moves that's condemning them. All right, they're making stupid moves and causing the people to be upset. That's his greatest wet dream, is to have people react from the loss of jobs and famine, so he could bring in the martial law. All right, that's this man's wet dream right now. Full control. And it says, and they shall seek to their idols and the charmers and them that have familiar spirits and wizards, because what? They're going to look for comfort. For a long period of time, especially during the pandemic, people was trying to get readings, and they different deities and so forth. The same thing they're going to follow when all hell breaks loose. It says, and the Egyptians will I'll give into, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them. And that's what everybody's experiencing right now. Experiencing. Nero 47, well, he was 45, 47 is cruel. He gives two shits. Like, the man was basically breaking it down. He said they wasn't thinking about because what what they're saying about his administration and so forth. He didn't give a damn. It's like, why are you not getting rid of more people? He is cruel. He don't give a damn. They come into schools, in front of children, take the children. He does not give a damn. So he's going to let these people come down hard. And the great resistance that's going to take place is the Spirit of the Lord. All right. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.